Okay, what is LGBT? If you are talking about definition, it is like L as in lesbian, G as in gay, B as in bisexual, T as in transgender, and I as in intersex, Q queer. All of us who are so to be like quoted as abnormal, and homosexuals, and then asexual, who doesn't have sexual feelings. So as a definition, this is what LGBTQIA, and people should, I think it's a time for Google, like people should get some general knowledge. That's what I call it, general knowledge. People should go and Google instead of watching all those political stuffs and washing their brain with those hate things. They should go and Google this stuff and realize there are different kinds of people around the world. Not everyone is Indian, or not everyone is Caucasian, or not everyone is black, right? There are tribal people, things like that. That's so they have to go and get those things out of Google and just realize what LGBTQI stands for. See, when we all believe in human rights and equal rights, right? If the right is not given rightfully, then obviously there will be a protest, because we are human too, and we deserve to live happily like everyone else does, and we need our rights. So that's where comes the pride. That's how the whole pride started, with the walk, and then it was started in America. It's a long history. Like as I said, I don't want to talk about the whole history. People can Google it. Right? So it was very important for us to get our rights. So that's how the pride started, and it will continue because we are still being demonized. Like people look at us as a sick or mentally ill, right? So we're gonna do it as long as we get the equal rights as heterosexual people does get. So yeah, this is something that our society is still going through. Like, say, let's not call them educated, because like education is something that you learn. It's a knowledge, and if you don't have a knowledge, you are not educated, right? You gotta have knowledge about the countries, the people, as I said before, and the different lifestyle. And if you don't have that knowledge, and just because someone else is so different than you are, and you're gonna call them sick, is like, dude, like, or whatever you are, like, you are sick mentally because you have no idea. That doesn't mean someone else is like this, right? Like, I would call them literate people. They can read and write, yeah, they can communicate, they know how to write, they know how to read, and they can communicate, they can do well in businesses, but definitely not educated. Because you can see, a driver can be an educated person. A driver could be a person who knows about LGBTQI and the surroundings and the international foreign affairs and the matters. He could be a person, but there could be could be a secretary or the big officer who doesn't know anything. So look, see, if you compare in those two people, who is more educated, right? So the driver is educated, the other officer is literate. So yeah, I mean, like, they need to do some homework, they need to get some general knowledge, and they need to like open up their mind, because like, this is 21st century, and we cannot go like, oh, this is this is different, and this is law. No, this is unacceptable. This is also like in society, if you're gonna talk about this topic in this way manners, like calling out people for being different, then you're gonna be a joke in front of other people who is knowledgeable, right? So people should stop doing that and educate themselves more. I mean, see, change is inevitable. No one can stop the change in the world. From the first the humanity began till now, look how far we have come. We have changed a lot, right? So change is inevitable, and people should start to accept the differences, right? Like, and this not only about LGBT, but like the communal differences, the religion differences, all these like small things. Because this 21st century, man, we are like already struggling to make our life, to survive. We're financially like, unstable, and we have so much to do in our life, and we are like fighting over small things that doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, you have to go home and you have to feed yourself, right? So like these things are stupid things to fight over, and just telling the people who is different than you not to accept them and like call them names, it's just so waste of time and energy. Why people do that? Like, I don't even understand. Like, I would never, don't want to indulge in this. I know different people. I'm Sikkimese, and my community includes Bihari, Bengali, different people from around India, and then we have different food, we have different culture. But look at us, like we're accepting, right? Because they don't eat beef or any other meat. We're not going to discriminate them, right? Because that's their right. They are different than us, so we should have to accept and move on. It's the same with the LGBTQIA community. Come on, accept us and move on, because we are not gonna come. And also the thing that is like, yeah, the people also said like the queer person could turn a heterosexual person into a homosexual, and that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. So like they have that belief. So I said like that is never gonna happen. We don't do magic and stuff, right? We are not witches and wizards. That doesn't happen overnight. So people have to understand that everyone is living their life. Let live, right? And live your own life. Like, be in peace. That's it. At the end of the day, happiness matters. All right. That is the question that I find it really funny, because like, how are you gonna like recognize self as an LGBT? Like, there are people like heterosexuals, right, which we call so-called straight people. So when do they realize that they are heterosexuals? They're like girls or men. When do they realize? Those things doesn't happen. So like, why we from LGBT community has been asked so often that when did you realize? When did you realize? Was the thing that we have already said this time and time again, that we are normal like everyone else. So this feeling comes normally. We don't like have a date and time to realize like I love a girl or I love a guy. So I think for me, like, this is the question that I really not interested in replying. But as you have asked, I would like to say something about it. Well, there's no realization for me. For me, it's like I saw a girl, I fell in love, and it went on like that. Obviously, that is very like tough thing that you can do in a heteronormative society where people are taught like men and women. That's it, and nothing else, right? So in every way, everything that you do and everywhere you go, you've been like you've been like watched as a different species, like you're some kind of animal or something, like being abnormal. Like, those are the things that I faced a lot before I become mentally strong. And in like almost in school, at games, outside, in family, yeah. So that was a part of my life as growing old as an LGBTQIA child, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, this is very really, I'm going to take a second to feel that again. But yeah, this is something that make me feel very proud, because I think it's because we've been seen in this society as a, I don't even call it third class. It's lower than that, like those kind of citizen, like lowest class citizen. Like, we are like, first of all, we are like what? Mentally sick. We are sexually active and whatnot. I don't know. There are so many levels they have given us, but like, and we are here proving, me and people like me who are around India or world, we are proving that this is normal. This is very normal, like anyone else, like any other person. We are doing good, and we are good people as well. The thing that we say, like, yeah, some people do make bad choices, but isn't that everyone does that? It doesn't have to, it's not about the community, it's about the person It's a personal matter, like, right? There are people like from our community or from your heterosexual community, they make choices and they make wrong choices and they end up in that place, right? And people who make the right choices, they go above, right? So it happens everywhere. So why we are always being labeled as a low class or like we cannot do anything? So the people like us, and my friends who are doing good and they are like rising above, yeah, that is a really something good. You know, like we get to show the world like, hey, look at us. Yeah, we exist and we are good, just like any of you. So I think LGBTQIA is a very, very new topic in our state, I believe. Because every time we interact with the department's head or something, like they have no idea what we are talking about. Everywhere I go, like if I want to do some like social work through our NGOs, the first thing when you go for permission, the first thing would be like, okay, so you are Rainbow Hills Welfare, okay, what is LGBT? So we always been asked that question, what is LGBT? So I believe like, I don't know even if our leaders are aware of our existence, that people like us do exist in our state. And to say like we are not in a minority, it's just hard to prove, but every time we do the researches and all this, we have a huge number of people who are part of the community and government hasn't been able to recognize us. And I think still we are, as a Rainbow Hills Welfare is doing their part to make it visible, and I guess government will come to notice us soon, since we've been trying since 2016 and it's 2022 and we haven't been noticed yet, but hopefully in 2-3 years they will notice us, because I think at the end of the day vote matters, right? We all are voters of the state and our vote counts. Basically, the difference between Darjeeling and Sikkim and LGBTQIA community being visible, like, is the reason is Darjeeling is always, it was ruled by Britishers, and it has that window towards the foreign culture, right? Opening up, being open-minded, right? The children in Darjeeling has been always been taught in English language, and then the schools were established by Britishers, and that's the reason why. And most of the people, I guess, one child from a family, they are settled in abroad. So that gives a lots of that gives a lot of our window, like gives a bigger window to the foreign world, and you get to know more about what's going on around the world. Whereas in Sikkim, we have this. Like, I don't know, even I'm surprised sometimes, like this being in a small place, people are so much relied on government and government job, or like they are so much relied on their parents, so like they don't have that what do you call it, guts, I would call it guts, to go out and thrive, survive and see the world. People don't do that much here. So whereas in Darjeeling, like as you see, like it was so progressive, like people, they're accepting anything, that whatever comes towards them, like they are okay with that. Everything is very normal in Darjeeling, and being LGBTQI is not a big deal. Still, like there's a small amount of people who are conservative, and they're always going to be everywhere, even in America, New Zealand, where in Taiwan, where the gay marriage has been legalized. We do have those sorts of people. And we do have in Darjeeling, but when it comes to the majority, Darjeeling is much forward and much progressed due to the same thing that I said before. They have been like able to see the world, have seen the cultures, have met the people, they have been out of the state or their place. So that's why they are so progressive. Whereas in Sikkim, much relied on government job, much relied on family. It's all the family does, and most of the things, and yeah, children's doesn't go much, children don't go out to study, but in recent years it has been done. But yeah, that is the difference being visible in Darjeeling and Sikkim. Yeah, I would like to say, like, I know life isn't easy, and being a queer, it's much harder than being a heterosexual or so-called normal people. But at the end of the day, as I stated before, your happiness matters. I'm pretty sure even like my brothers and sisters from my community, they have a dream of holding hands with their partners, right? They have a dream of going out with your partner, having a child, having a family, right? And getting married, growing old, I'm pretty sure, having equal legal rights with your partners, right? I'm pretty sure they have that. But as long as they stay in the closet, there will be, they won't be able to enjoy those things, right? You have to come out of your shell, right? You have to get out of your comfort zone to enjoy the new life, right? Nothing comes easy. Like for me as well, like it's now people look at me as a strong person, right? Coming out proud and doing my things and being very open about my love life and family, everything. But there was a time when I went through a very hard time, right? It was hard for me to come to the community, to come to my family, people not accepting my choice, my partner. Things like that happen. It's not like over the night I'm like, oh, I'm the top of the world, like, yeah, if everyone loves me. No, it doesn't happen that way. So the people, my friends and family, like my LGBT people, like whoever is in the closet, like if you want a good life, right? If you want to move on, you want to have a happy life, slowly come out. Reach out to the people like us who can build a community for you, who can help you. Make that circle of trust, right? So once the first step is always hard, very hard. I can guarantee it's not going to be easy, like you're going to be laughed at. But like another thing is like being LGBTQIA community, people can see that a trace on your body, like your body language, the way you talk, right? The way you look. People could see that you are part of the community. So you are like, I would say you're like 25%, you are already visible in the eye of people that you are from LGBTQIA community. So if you want to be happy, just make it 100. I know it's easy to say, hard to do, but once you step out and you come out of the closet, and you definitely gonna love your life. You're gonna feel that freedom, and you have all the rights to be happy in the world. That's what I want to say.